And back in our region, Duluth's Nordic Folk Music Festival takes place this weekend, bringing a 20-year tradition to the Twin Ports. Last night, Northlanders gathered for a welcome dance to usher in the weekend. Today, the celebration continues with live music, workshops, and jam circles at the Peace United Church. The event began in the year 2000, bringing Nordic traditions to the Bemidji area. With a new home in Duluth, organizers hope the event will reach more people than ever before.
I think it's really important that we think about the place that we've come from and the place that we're going and the people that brought us to these points. We really want to share this with the greater community, and we want the greater community to share what they have with us.
While traditional Nordic music is center stage at the festival, performers also incorporate other cultures and genres into their acts. Renee Vaughn thinks it's important for folk music to evolve.
Just watching and being part of this transformation of folk music is really exciting. Being able to hang on to what was there and what was good, and then being able to move forward and not be afraid of change.
The Nordic Center helped organize the event this weekend. They hope to continue the festival for years to come.